Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Cinatober, as you heard with the Batman theme there, which is not mine. As you all know, if you've watched my review of Wrong Turn is the first series I am doing this month. So, let's get to Wrong Turn 2, Dead End. So, Wrong Turn 2 is a sequel to the first Wrong Turn. And this one, instead of people making a wrong turn like how with Kristen, the first one, this one is more of a, this is a pretty much a MTV, an MTV reality game show. It's called The Apocalypse. And the movie begins with this character, with this movie star, and they're this superstar named Kim, who she's driving through West Virginia, and she's calling her agent. She's like, where the heck is this? So she's driving. She hits one of the cannibals. She starts freaking out. She's like, oh my gosh, don't die on me. Please don't die. I'm here. It's okay. And he gets up and he bites her and he rips her lip off. And then we run into one of the cannibals from the first film, Sawtooth, who takes an axe. Actually, no, it's not Sawtooth. It's Three Finger, takes an axe and just chops her in half, and she falls down to the side. And this has some good gore in it. Then we are introduced to the new characters, and this is where we get the introduction of the show called Apocalypse, where we meet the runner of the game show, a former Marine named Dale, who actually is my favorite character in this movie. He's a awesome dude. Former Marine and all that stuff, and then we get to meet characters. We meet Kim, who does her intro video, and she has a infinity tattoo on her leg. That'll come in sometime later, trust me. Then we meet Jonesy, who is a sex-obsessed prick. We get Nina, who is there to freaking win money because her former fiance put her in debt. Then we meet Jake, who is a former football star. Then we meet Ava, who is a whore. I'm just gonna throw that out there. She's a freaking whore. And then I think that's it. I think that's all the contestants. There's Kim, Jake. There's 6 contestants, yeah. So, and since Kimberly hasn't shown up yet, they replace her with actually the producer of this, or she's part-time producer or something, Mina or Manea or Mara, that's right. They put her in the game, and basically what you have to do is you walk around the woods until you come across this line, and it'll say you have a certain amount of time to complete this challenge. If you don't complete it, you're out of the game. They have these things around their necks that have cameras in them, and they have to slide it in, and then they have to slide in the card to get the machine to stop beeping. So then everyone is split off into groups. Jake goes off with Elena, and also Michael, the producer or the film guy who is also dating Mara, goes off with them because, you know, he's supposed to be filming everybody. Mara goes with Nina, who is a vegan, and the reason they put her on the show was they were hoping that they were going to be able to break her and make her eat meat, which is kind of a douche move to do. Then we get, I forgot about Amber, who is a former Marine and served 2 wars and did 2 services in Iraq, I think. She's stuck with the a-hole, or with the a-hole, Jonesy, excuse me for my language, with the moron. So they all split off together, and he's basically, you know, he's like any pervert. He's like, oh man, I bet you, oh come on, you like me, you know you like me. And then she admits, I'm not into men, and then it gets a lot worse. I was like, oh my gosh. He's like Jar Jar Binks, except Jar Jar Binks will be a blessing compared to this guy. It's not until after the cannibals start attacking him, he's like, oh my gosh, I need to stop being a moron. But no, we do have some pretty good bonds in this film, especially with Amber and Dale, who have both served in the military, so you know they kind of have that bond. Another reason I like Dale is because when Mara has to compete, she's like, I don't think I can do this. He's like, you know what? Yes, you can. You're going to be fine. I see something in you that you don't see in yourself, and none of these people see either. You're gonna do great. You'll be fine. So then everyone goes off, and we do the cannibals. The cannibals are weird in this one. The only ones that appear from the first two are Three Finger and Sawtooth. One, I guess, died. So Nina and Mara are, walking around. They run into a challenge. And, something I noticed, there is no security team or there is no paramedics around. Like if you see reality TV shows, you see going, oh my gosh, quick, we gotta help her, cut the cameras off. Nothing like that. She has to crawl on the stump, or not the stump, but this ledge, this tree that's like over the river. And she falls in, and I was like, well, you guys are so sued. You guys are so sued. Why don't you have a freaking paramedic team to, what if she couldn't swim? Sued right there. So while they're doing all this, we get Jake and Elena. And like I said, how Elena is the whore. She is the whore. Because they're doing this. Michael wants to make this scene. He wants to make them the couple in the show. And, they have sex and everything. And so she's like, we can fish later. I need to refresh. I need to breathe, basically. So she starts stripping, and she gets into the water, and he's like, and the jock is like, what the heck are you doing? And I applaud you. This shows that not all jocks have their hands up their butts. He's like, I can't do this, man. He's like, come on, everyone loves this kind of stuff. He's like, well, I have 3 nieces and a mom who would never forgive me for this. I ain't doing it. So he goes off, and when he goes off, she's like, look, I want more TV time. I know exactly how to get it. So she starts blowing him, and before, she's like, here, come on, I want sex, let's have sex. And he's like, you're hot, but it's just not the same. And not also to mention that he is he's dating Mara. So when Mara and Nina are walking along, Mara happens to see Elena on her knees doing something to her boyfriend, and it hurts. And it really sucks. It really does. So Nina does her best to comfort her. She's like, I know this hurts, but you don't need someone like that. I came in on something like this. My ex-fiance, I seen him. He was in bed with my best friend, and he also used me and put me in debt. So I kicked his butt. I put him in the hospital. And she's like, come on, let's go do this. And Mara's like, look, I do this in my own way. I can't, I'm not like you. I don't want to be like you. And it offends her, but then they do form a little bit of a bond, but unfortunately it's cut short when they run across a cabin because they want a phone. They want to find a phone. And they come into the cabin, and then they notice that this whole family of cannibals is different. There's 2 girls, there's a mom, a teenager, 2 teenagers, and there's the father, and then there's Three Finger. So they get in the house, and they see like there's a whole portrait of the family. And then all of a sudden the cannibals come in, and then you hear someone talk, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, one of the cannibals can actually talk. Nope, it's not. It's Maynard. Yeah, Maynard is in this film. So then all of a sudden the mother cannibal gives birth just right on the table, and you see the gore. I was like, ugh. Well, that's just gross. So then one of the cannibals sees the 2 girls in the house. They have to actually crawl through the toilet, or after they have to crawl through the outhouse to escape. They do when Mina is ahead of Mara, and all of a sudden Mara gets hit with an axe in the head, and she falls over dead. And then while Mina is running, they come by in the truck, and they pick up Sawtooth, who's chasing after Mina, and they noted that one of the cannibals throws her finger, and it lands right in front of Mina's face, and she's just like, it's the whole entire, there's a serial killer trying to kill me, I gotta keep my face, I gotta keep quiet. But when that finger lands in front of her, it doesn't help her. She's like, and while all this is going on, Dale, because he had some spare time, he was going to set up the other games, and And here's the reason why this guy's my favorite character. He starts getting attacked by the cannibals. He's like, you better back down because someone's going to get hurt. And then someone starts trying to shoot him with arrows. Unfortunately, he does get knocked out, but he wakes up at the cannibals' camp, and they've stabbed him twice. But he takes his fists and he uppercuts the cannibal in the nuts like an awesome dude. And then he grabs the knife, cuts himself free, and then he gets a shotgun and he shoots Three Finger, and Three Finger falls into the water. It was awesome. It was like horrible reenaction. It was basically like this. Darn it, come on. It was like this. Oh, come on. What is wrong with you? Oh, it works. Ugh. And he got thrown into the water. And I honestly thought he was dead. But of course these things aren't dead. They're freaking indestructible. And we do learn a reason why they are so deformed. Well, one, it's because of inbreeding. But two, it's also because there is a major chemical thing. You know, like in the first movie, how you see the chemicals on the road, and that's why Chris has to take the turn that he takes in the movie. Well, they live near the river, and the river is tainted with all these chemicals. So they've basically been drinking this chemical water. So after the sex with Elena, Michael goes and looks for someone else, and we find out that the teenage cannibal boy is watching her on the beach and masturbating. That's an image I want in my head. So when he's doing this, his sister/girlfriend walks in, and she's mad at him. She slaps him twice, and she's so freaking angry. Elena is still in her bra and panties because, you know, like I said, whore. And I guess that was her somewhat version of a bathing suit. But this cannibal just comes and pushes her down, takes a knife, and starts slashing her back so much. And it was really disturbing. Especially the fact of the matter is that we see her freaking spine. She slashes at Elena's back so much. By the time, like, the cannibal dude stops her, you can see almost her entire spine. Dang, that was bone-chilling. So after all this happens, you know, people start dying one by one. We go back to Dale, and Dale is looking around, and he comes to the cabin, and he sees we see that these fish are hung up or something, and Maynard is using the fish to clean up the afterbirth. So frickin' Dale sneaks in with the shotgun, and he's like, "Move or I'll blow your brains out." So then he allows him help. He allows him to bandage himself up, and we learn that he's like, "You're one of the few people in here that's walked into those woods and walked out, because everyone else, they never walk out." And he's like, "Why do you stick around?" "Well, you know, I gotta stick close to my youngins." "You mother!" And like he tries to kill him. And then I thought that this was the funniest part in the movie. Okay, so he's fighting with Maynard, and he lights a thing of dynamite, and he sticks it in Maynard's back. And Maynard's like, "I'm gonna..." And then boom, he's pointing the gun, and then it blows up. And that honestly made me think of a joke with Jeff Dunham. You think they ever pull that prank on each other? What prank? You know, what the... And he blew up, and it was just so freaking funny. And we find out that Maynard had a wife, but she died. So when he kills him, he's like, "Say hi to the missus for me." But unfortunately, that explosion does destroy the shotgun. So, and then we get Michael, who gets back to the RV. And when he's in the RV, he notices that something reeks. Two cannibals take the RV, and then we see that earlier on in the film, we seen that Amber and Jonesy found barbecue, and they're eating it. So after all this that's happened, we found out that Jake reunited with them, and they're all sitting around, they're eating barbecue. All of a sudden, Nina comes in, and she's like, "We gotta get out of here," and she looks like she's been through crap. Literally, she had to crawl through crap. And she's like, "You know, we gotta get out of here, we gotta get out of here." They're like, "Dude, this is a TV show. This is a survival TV show. This is special effects. You're gonna see stuff like this." And she's like, "What I seen was real." And, you know, he's like, "Oh, come on, you can't do this." But because he is a douche, he doesn't care. But Amber and Jake are like, "Come on, are you sure you've seen what you've seen?" And then she turns around and she notices that the barbecue has the infinity sign on it. They cooked Kimberly. And so Jonesy's like, that was her leg. And he throws up, and then they start running. And when they start running, they notice that there's a bear trap. And honestly, they point out through this entire film that there's no wildlife. So then they figured out when they see the bear trap, they're like, they're not hunting animals, they're hunting us. They're eating us. So they all run in different directions. When they come across the cannibals who are having sex, which was really weird, they thought that Elena was getting raped by the cannibal. No, the fact of the matter is the girl cannibal cut her face off and put her face on. And it was just so disturbing. And then, like, she takes the face off and rips it off. And they're like, oh! Nina runs in. She falls in a humongous hole. She falls in a hole, and then we have Amber, Jonesy, and Jake who are running. They're like, we gotta go back for Nina. You know, they split up. Jake finds her and he pulls her out of the hole, but unfortunately he pops his shoulder out of place. And Nina helps put it back in. So then we get Amber and Jonesy who are still, you know, trying to get through this. Jonesy gets caught in a trap where he's caught hanging upside down. Amber tries to go for help, but she gets put in the same trap. But before that, she made a spear, and one of the things about the cannibals, she throws the spear, the girl cannibal just catches it and throws it down. And I was like, well, that's awesome, but that also sucks. I mean, imagine, you're getting ready to fight your enemy, you're like, I got you, I got a spear. Yeah. The cannibals are awesome. The cannibals are indestructible, of course. So then they're both caught hanging upside down. Sawtooth lets the teenage cannibal shoot them in the eye, and the arrow goes through both of their heads at the same time. So while we're getting all this, freaking Daryl is setting up for battle. He's making dynamite, and he puts mud on his face, and he's just going around, and he's trying to take the cannibals down one by one. So then they decide, hey, we're going to go meet them at this mill. And we come to figure out that this is where the cannibals have been storing the cars. So there's a trap set up for them in their RV. Then we wake up to a dinner scene, which reminds you all of anyone who knows the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Nina is barbed wired, and this is the only time that barbed wire is ever put in the film. So, you know, she's saying, you guys are all freaking crazy. And we find out that the cannibals, I guess, are somewhat religious because they pray. And we see the wife cannibal who just looks miserable. You know, she's making food, and like the husband like trying to grab her chest, and she's like, get away from me. And like, you know, they say a prayer, and she's like, the girl cannibal puts a shotgun to her face and makes it look like I'm gonna kill you, and then she's like, F you. And because of that, the cannibal knocks her out and she wakes up in the chair. And Jake's like, quit messing with her, you don't have to do this, let us go. And then Dale finds him, and Dale goes all military awesomeness. And, you know, he blows up the teenage cannibal because I think he stabs an arrow in his back or something, and it blows him up, and this pisses off the cannibals. So, freaking Dale gets Nina out of the barbed wire trap, and they unfortunately arrow him down, and which it sucks, because he was my favorite character. So now, they're running around in this mill, and we come to this thing, like, with these big, gigantic wooden spin things that crushes things. And this is how they defeat the cannibals. They move and they hit the switch, and the gigantic boulder knocks them in and it crushes them up. They walk out. What was hilarious, though, is they end up getting Kim's car at the end. And it's so funny because this line between Nina and Jake has always been sue me. So the movie ends with them driving off, and then we see the baby that the cannibals gave birth to looks like a freaking alien. Like, I can't tell if this thing has eyes or not. But we see that Three Finger is actually filling a bottle up with the chemicals and feeding it to the baby. And then the baby won't drink it, so then he lets it suck on a finger. And the movie ends. This one wasn't too bad of a sequel. It does acknowledge that Maynard is related to the cannibals somehow. You know, I like how they're not just, oh, you know, with Jason and Leatherface, you know, they're actually dropping them off one by one. So, yeah, I honestly recommend the first one and this one. Stay tuned for when I will do Wrong Turn 3, Wrong Turn 4, and Wrong Turn 5. Guys, I hope that you guys are liking Cinatober. Put in the comments below, which is your favorite Wrong Turn film? Comment below, let me know. Have a good night.